in this past week at any point in time said, I've got to slow down, I'm wearing myself out. The older you get, the faster your body seems to wear down. And if you don't take care of your body when you're young, it'll wear down even quicker. See, I had heard that the whole time growing up, that take care of yourself now so when you get older, you won't have all the problems that you could have. I wish I'd have listened. I was telling Stephanie and I was talking to Gary this morning, if y'all go down 153 toward Powdersville, there's a big bank up there. We're having to cut every tree off that bank off. Well, it's a big slope. I told her yesterday, I said, I'll be 39 next month. You would think by now I would know what muscles hurt and ache when I do something I'm not used to. Well, you think about how my ankles feel having to hold all this up straight, up on a slope like this. I told her Friday evening, I was kind of leading her on. I said, here's my plans for tomorrow. She said, all right. I said, I'm going to get up and make me a breakfast. She said, yeah. She thought I was going somewhere with her. I said, then I'm going to sit on the couch. And I ain't getting up till I go to bed tomorrow night. And I held true to my word, didn't I? I didn't do a thing. But I got to thinking about a couple of things. Stephanie McCullough got a big old tub of pictures out yesterday. Started going through them. They were pictures of when me and her were dating, when we first bought that house. Pictures of when the kids were little. I ain't one to sit down and do that. I was trying to sit there on the couch and be spiritual and get me a thought for the day, and they keep slinging pictures in my laps, wanting me to look at everything. But I got to looking at them. Looking back to when both of them's in a high chair, food all over their faces. You don't think about that stuff no more until you see a picture and your mind goes back and you think about stuff. Stephanie had the audacity to throw me a picture and said, I want you to look at how skinny you used to be. It made me feel real good, you know. But then I thought about it, and then we was coming to church this morning. Stephanie pulled the visor down and looked in the mirror. I don't know if every woman does this right before they get somewhere, but she pulled it down, checked her makeup, put on some more lipstick on, and she said, oh my gosh. I said, what? She said, I got 3 gray hairs. See, some people it bothers getting old. You can ask her, it doesn't bother me a bit. She said, I can't stand having to say, I'm gonna turn 40 in a couple of years. I said, it's just another year. It doesn't bother me, but like I said, I was looking back at the kids. Things we used to do as kids, our kids don't do today. How many of you stood up in the car when you was going down the road when you were little? Man. You don't see a kid doing that now. Mom and Daddy used to have a gray station wagon, and it wasn't a new station wagon, it was an old one. The very back, the glass would go up, and the tailgate thing would go down. You could be going down the road, and we've done it a few times, we'd have our head, they let the window up, we'd lay back here and rest your head up on that, I don't know what you call it, I'm gonna call it a tailgate, y'all know what I'm talking about, and just look at the sky. If you was to see a kid doing that now, you'd have a heart attack. Why, I don't know, it ain't no different, but I got to thinking about a couple other things. Half the young people now, they don't know what a service attendant is at a gas station. Used to, you go to a gas station, they check your gas, your fluids, wash your windows. I wanted to go back and read all that I read back in, I think it was January, but I didn't want to do it. I just picked a couple of things out. The older I've gotten, I don't know what it is, but you don't see near the amount of lightning bugs you used to see when you were kids. You couldn't wait. How many of you had a certain day when you were little you waited for? You couldn't wait till this certain day come. What day was it? Saturday. Because you had 4, 7, 13, and eventually you got Channel 21. But Saturday morning, they were some of the best cartoons on TV. What's on TV now that they call cartoons? I don't know where they get calling it cartoon, but. And I'll close with this. Each month at work, each crew has to change out the trash and all around the shop yard. I'm leaving you on a good note, so y'all better laugh because I made somebody laugh. Because was a trash bag that fell halfway down the trash can. People just kept throwing trash on top of it. The guy asked me to come and help him empty it. We both standing here holding the trash bag in the trash can, dumping it in. What comes out of that trash can? A mouse about like that. Now, I ain't necessarily scared of them, but when it brushes across your hand and you swing at it and it falls and lays on top of your boot, I told the guy, I said, that gives meaning to an elephant is scared of a mouse. I run, I holler. The man's 62 years old. I've never seen him laugh like this. He said, I thought I was gone. He said, I've never laughed so bad. I know it wasn't nothing spiritual, but the thought come to me, you know. I thought about what preacher was saying Wednesday night, you know, it's, you get so wrapped up in stuff. You don't take time to rest. You're always on the go doing things. And the majority of the people, the thing they forget when they're doing all that, they leave God out of everything. We don't go out to eat like we used to, but I used to sit there and watch the people that would come in after us, because I just wanted to see how many people would come in and sit down and say a blessing. Like I said, years ago, you didn't see somebody come in and not say a blessing. Because Michaela's got to where, as soon as we sit down, she wants to go ahead and get it done out of the way, because like we go to a Mexican restaurant, she won't let nobody else have any chips, but you don't see it like you used to. People praying. Even at work, I've caught myself a couple times when we stopped for lunch, I hadn't done it. And then I get ready to get back on the tractor and go back to work, and it pops in my head. There's a reason it popped in my head. It was something I used to do, and I didn't do it. But everybody's just got to the point where they leave God out of everything. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They think they'll be all right if they just leave them off. But you look on down the road, you leave God out of something, you're not no better off than what you were. Brother Dan, pray for us.
Dear Father, we bow before you this morning. Lord, we bow, thank you and praise you.